friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ginny May. I'm the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Services. I've been in the restaurant business for over 35 years and also a service manager and trainer for over 16. Today I wanted to talk about speed in the restaurant and the speed that we're working in the restaurant. Some of us are really good at it, and some of us need a little bit of assistance. So hopefully this video will help you give some tips and tricks about how you can speed up and be a little bit more efficient when you're on the floor on your shift in the restaurant. The first thing is to evaluate your own situation and figure out, am I one of the speediest people in the restaurant, or am I not one of the speediest people in the restaurant? Because if you're not the speediest person in the restaurant, the speedy people are probably looking at you and thinking about you when it's a Friday night, when it's a Saturday night, when it gets really busy. No one wants to be the slow one. So first of all, recognize, how are you rating yourself within your team? Are you super speedy, or do you need a little bit of fire? A little bit of fire coming out of your butt. Or if you need a little extra energy when you're on the floor. If you figure out, ooh, I don't have as much energy, or I'm not as quick as some of my other colleagues, then there's a couple different things you can do. First thing is identify the most speedy person in your restaurant and try to copy things that they are doing at the same speed that they're doing. One good place to start looking without having people watch you doing it is when you're in the pot wash. And when you see someone really speedy at the pot wash, putting away their plates, their silverware, dividing all their things up, throwing things in the trash, and how they end up handling themselves in that area is a good way to figure out if you are speedy or if you need help being speedier. As a speedy person is always doing things extremely efficiently, and that's why they're ahead of their game all the time. The speedy person always has a lot extra time with the guests. The speedy person has time to offer different dishes, suggest their favorites, have a lot of guest time, and the guests end up liking them more, and also perhaps giving them a bigger tip because they're more efficient when they're behind the scenes. There's a saying that says we should be swans when we're going through the restaurant, and when we're with the guests, we should be swans in how we look and appear to our guests. The swan analogy is to our guests, we're elegant, we're flowing around the dining room, but underwater, we're really putting the press on, we're really paddle. And so we kind of need to divide our jobs up into, is it the elegant swan part, or are we really paddling underneath the water to pick up some speed so that we have a little bit more time with our guests a little later on. We also need to determine what are the different times that I should, for example, be looking like everything's elegant and flowing. And a couple of these are when we are down with the guest, when we are welcoming the guest, maybe talking about the menu card, suggesting our favorite items, asking for more drinks, taking things off the table. The last thing we want to do is doing this really quickly, because what will happen is your speed will end up stressing the guest out, and that's the last thing you want to do. They came to your restaurant to relax, to have a great time, and your stress cannot be converted down to the table in any way. So keep that separate. The times that we should actually be really paddling and really pushing and working efficiently is, of course, in the pot wash, when we're walking through the dining room with dishes. Of course, not so fast that you're stressing other guests out, or that you could maybe be a danger to your colleagues by causing some sort of accident. So of course you need to be aware, but you need to keep your pace up so it looks like, hey, I have a lot of energy. I brought this with me from home. I brought this with me to work, and I'm gonna keep moving at a nice, good pace so it looks like things are moving and it's bringing a more up and vibrant and energetic environment to the restaurant. If you are a host, remember not to move quickly through the dining room. And that is because you may lose your guests. Of course, if you're speedy, you can get through that dining room really fast. And if you are a guest and the first time in the restaurant, they are moving quite slowly. So you need to be quite aware of the guests, and if you are the host, to follow them down at their speed. Now let's get back to if you are cleaning your tables, you're working with the guests at the tables, you're helping colleagues out on the floor. Of course, working as efficiently as you possibly can and identifying if you're a speedy person or need a little bit of more assistance to be a speedy person, then trying to find your own cues on how to get yourself a little bit sped up. Sometimes if you're also in assistance of being a little bit more speedy, you may overhear colleagues saying, I wish it could just go a little bit faster. Can you speed it up a little bit? Can you step it up just a notch? And sometimes that's really difficult to figure out, how do I step it up a notch? Ask for assistance at that time. Maybe ask about, how quickly am I supposed to put these dishes in the dishwasher? Or how quickly am I supposed to move across the floor in my restaurant? How quickly am I supposed to help a colleague wrap napkins? All the other small details we need to prepare before the guests actually come into our restaurant. And watch and learn from the speediest ones in your restaurant. If you are the speediest one in your restaurant, hey, help some of your colleagues. It doesn't make any sense to go around and complaining that little Bobby or little Susie is really, really slow. You know what? Next time you're in the shift, meet them. Give them a couple tips and say, you know what? I want to really help you make your life a little bit more easier and give you a little bit more room and time to be with your guests so you can suggest things. You can end up having a better time on the floor, maybe also increasing your tips, and show them the pace that you are doing your duties at, and then help them to get up to the speed where you are. Again, speed in the restaurant is one of the most... No! Stop it! I need to finish that. I'm getting allergic reaction. Being speedy in the restaurant... Being speedy in the restaurant are one of the small things that you can do to become more efficient, spend more time with your guests, end up suggesting more, giving more time to help a colleague, and also saving a lot of time in the end so you don't feel swamped or overwhelmed when you have a full section. I'm Ginny May, the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Service, and if you like this video and other tips and tricks, then click here for another video, or otherwise, please subscribe, press the subscribe button, ring the bell so that you get a notification when I come out with a new video every week. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.